they all need to move with this trend if we're to avoid unnecessary or sunk costs. The growth from manual to auto is now really quite significant. You can see that you can see the graph, that it's a 10-time increase over the last years, and we project further growth to 2020. The fifth driver is, of course, electrification. I'm going to come back to the subject of hybrids. We are showing a suite of hybrid technologies today, but I would come back to those. Small manual transmissions. We have produced 33 million units of our core front-wheel drive 5-speed manual transmission over the years, and finally, after a long period of time, that product suite will be replaced with a modular platform. Internally, we call it MX65. 3 torque variants, from a 5-speed 150 Newton-meter lead-in, low-cost and very compact transmission, through to a torque-enhanced middle version, and for more sophisticated applications, a 6-speed 215 Newton-meter product. These products have a patented gear set. They are very short. They have the highest torque density of any product we've seen. They're lower in weight, and they offer a ratio spread from 4.8 to 6, meaning we can accommodate from a relatively simple combustion engine to a much more sophisticated one within these lower torque segments. The subject of automation, I mean, we talked about this in 2013 at the last IAA, and we were talking about how much we feel this will drive our future. Of course, it's convenience, it's safety as well, but the automation becomes an enabling technology for the rest of the vehicle to access fuel cost reductions. In the real world, the software is more efficient than most drivers' skills, so there is a real world CO2 improvement. And I mean, finally, it makes no sense that a car parks itself if you're operating a clutch and engaging reverse for it. So it's enabling for what many of us see coming in the future of the vehicle. Grow to a business of around 1 million units in Europe, and similarly approximately 1 million units in Asia by the end of the decade. That product has a suite of technologies which will be applied in a modularized way across our forthcoming new DCT products, which I will show you in a few moments. 7 gears, an enhanced launch capability from rest, and a gear spread of 8.6. We, at this time, do not see any advantages in this mid-torque segment from adding an 8th gear. We really are able to deal with anything that our customers require in terms of their powertrain requirements. Into this segment, we reintroduce wet clutches. This allows us to reduce weight and downsize the clutch. It improves drivability in more variable environmental conditions, be they high temperature, low temperature. And with the downsized engines, the oil-cooled clutches allow us a lower inertia that deals with the torque characteristics of those engines better. More interesting is our approach to actuation, perhaps a very advanced development of what we saw in 1957. Our clutch actuation is electro and hydraulic, a mixture of cooled clutches, a pump actuation system, electrical motors to do the shifting. This allows us, within, for example, the NEDC cycle, our actuation system is utilizing 30 watts. You can relate this to a light bulb. We know what a 30-watt light bulb would look like. Our first ever DCT was measured at about 250 watts. So you can see since 2008 the scale of efficiency improvement of this system. A more old-fashioned automatic transmission, perhaps from the 90s, may be above 400 watts. So the scale of efficiency improvement is quite dramatic. How does it work? It's electromechanical in terms of shifting gears. This means we're using electrical motors. These are standardized components. We will use them, of course, on the 300, but as I introduce the 150 and the 200 products that we are launching and announcing today, they are using the absolute same technology. A discussion within our engineering group, we need the same technologies, not similar. There needs to be part number identical transfer of components. This obviously gives us scale economies. It gives us reliability opportunities. It gives us the ability to manage our sourcing pattern flexibly, even down to managing currency exposures when we can do this. Similarly, the clutch system will be the same in all of the family of third generation products. The pump actuators achieve their efficiency improvement because they are on demand versus a conventional high-pressure hydraulic actuation system which is constantly utilizing its pumps to keep the system pressurized to a high level. Ours activates when it needs to, and it is dormant when it doesn't need to, which means it is not using energy. That's why we call it smart. So, the third generation DCT products. We launched the 300 this year. We're exhibiting the 150 and the 200 derivatives. As I say, the same technology suite of products, the same actuation system, the same clutches, but in a downsized architecture. The point of this is that manual to auto trend, we believe, will continue. The lower torque, smaller vehicles, B and sub-B segments, are not, due to cost in the past, high automatic take vehicle segments. We genuinely believe, for all of the reasons that I mentioned before, the convenience, the safety, the enabling of other technologies, that this must come in a significant way in the next 5 years. The 150 and the 200 architectures are shorter. Once again, they use a patented ear set design. Between the 150 and the 300, we can realize a 10 kilogram weight saving. So, to the fifth market driver, we're showing right at the front here 3 hybrid concepts. They are not 3 different concepts, they are an identical suite of technologies. They can be applied to the 150, the 200 and the 300 with identical or almost identical components, and they fit within the same packaging space. So we can do a 48 volt mild hybrid, and within the same space we can enlarge that ultimately up to 400 volts, and the basic packaging would remain the same. Once again, very flexible. The other interesting aspect of our hybridization concept, if you look at the more conventional approach, a parallel hybrid, it will combine the energy from the engine and the electrical machine together into the transmission and through to the wheels. By integrating the electrical machine through a reduction gear into the transmission, we are able to have the combustion engine and the electrical engine operating at their absolute optimal speeds. They do not need to be compromised, they do not need to be merged. The reduction gear allows us to downsize the electrical machine, achieve the same performance but in a smaller package, and also ideally a cheaper electrical machine. There are definitely benefits, and I can identify the sweet spot of the combustion engine and the electrical engine by using the transmission as the hybrid integration aggregate. So, the technology is scalable. The DCT technology on 150, 200 and 300 is, as I explained, the same technologies, the same concepts, often the same part numbers. We have been able to do the same thing in hybridizing the 200 and the 300. We don't show a 150 today. It's really compact. It's targeted at the very low torque, very cost sensitive segment, but the technology can be applied either way. In true Getrag fashion, we stick to a lay shaft transmission, maintaining the basic gear set efficiency of a manual transmission, not losing it. Double clutches for the comfort and the tunability. Smart actuation because it saves energy, and the whole system is modular and scalable. So, to summarize, I think actually I've mostly said it. 80 years young, we would like to think, with a great future ahead of us, and really a suite of products that address the market drivers that we have been working towards for so long. 5-speed goes to 6-speed, fuel economy is the driver, the rise of the emerging markets and a global economy, manual to auto, a gradual progression of electrification of the powertrain. We believe we have a product range that really addresses all of the market drivers that determine our industry, and we're showing you the latest 3 iterations today. Thank you very much.